If you're a fan of Gorillaz, you'll know of Clint Eastwood, this song. You know, the one with the monkeys and blah blah blah. We're not focusing on that. Instead, we're going to focus on a specific line in this video. So let's watch this bit.
Feeling sensations that you thought was dead. No squealing, remember.
Alright, okay. So that seemed pretty normal. That's a pretty normal line in the song. But I'm going to change something in my Windows settings. Go to ease of access, audio. You see this little slider, turn on mono audio. If you turn that on, and then listen to this bit again.
No squealing, remember.
What the hell? Where did the audio go? So to explain what just happened there, I'm going to open Audacity to sort of give an example. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to record myself saying something. So for example, tomatoes. I'm going to take that audio recording and then I'm going to plug it into Audacity. So I'm going to go into my folder, tomatoes.wav. Okay, yoink it into there, remove that. So now this should work. Tomatoes. Alright, cool. So, to explain what just happened in this song, we must first explain what stereo and mono is. So, to explain the differences between stereo and mono, we must first understand what the heck and darn is stereo and mono. Put simply, mono means all sound. So let's pretend that this red laser beam is sound. Actually, I guess it's more of like a wave, so I guess it would be like yoing, yoing, yoing. That's sound, right? Pretend that's sound. So when sound goes into the microphone then just converts it straight through some speaker. So, I don't know, imagine that's a speaker. So we have sound going into the speaker, and then the sound comes out like regular sound, it goes into your ears, blah blah blah. With stereo, the difference is that instead of sound going in and then sound coming out, we instead have sound coming through two speakers, and each speaker can have slightly different sounds to each other. For example, headphones, you know, those things, can send sounds through one ear or the other. And in video games, when you're playing a video game and you have headphones, you'll be using stereo sound because it can tell you sounds from one side of your ear, so from the left side or the right side, meaning if you're in a, battlefield and you hear gunshots coming from the left, you'll be able to actually hear that. With mono, the gunshots coming from the left will sound like they're coming from all directions. Let me get an example. So we're playing on the worst TF2 map and I'm going to show you what exactly I mean. Oh, Pyros, leave me alone, I'm trying to demonstrate a video. So I have a fella here, shooting his flamethrower, and if I turn around, notice that the fire doesn't change. Now I've changed back to stereo. Notice that I can hear the direction of the fire. So if we go back to our diagram, you can sort of understand where I'm coming from. Stereo allows musicians to record different sounds for each ear. So you could have, I don't know, a llama screaming in one ear or a whale moaning in the other. That's how this 8D audio stuff works, because it just plays a different level of sound on each ear. So that's cool and all, but that doesn't exactly explain why this song suddenly goes silent when you listen to it in mono. And no, it doesn't, for there's an extra step. The way sound works is quite simple. Imagine this line is 0 decibels. That is the absence of sound. If anything goes even slightly above that line, there will be noise. The higher it goes, the more noise. However, the same applies to the bottom. So if even a tiny bit goes down, or a lot, it will still make the same sound as the one above it, so long as it's the same, length. And so sound waves usually look a bit like this. Just wibbly wobbling all over the place, but this really all just demonstrates sound. These are the quiet parts of the song, and these are the loud parts of the song. Now, what were to happen if you put a peak on the opposite side of this wave? Imagine that that's a mirror image. What would happen is that because this sound goes up and this sound goes down, they actually cancel each other out. Because while this part of the line sounds the exact same as this, it is actually negative this. And so you're probably thinking, cool, how does that explain the Clint Eastwood thing? Well, it does. If we go into Audacity and take our Tomatoes clip, first want to split the track into two, and then what we want to do is we want to set these. This is how you decide the stereo. So if you move this to the left, you'll hear this on the left side of the ear. Tomatoes. And if you move these to the right, you hear it on the right side. Tomatoes. And then if you have one left, one right, you'll get tomatoes, the normal audio. So we're going to set this to the center for now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this wavelength. So we're going to add an effect called invert, and what will happen is that we'll swap the wavelength around. It will flip it upside down. So now if we listen to this, you hear nothing. Why is that? Well, like I said, these are the same as these, so both of these are colliding with each other and cancelling each other out, unless we move this to the right and this to the left. Since this one is only playing on the right side of your ears, and this one is only playing on the left side of your ears, they don't actually play through the same speaker, and therefore they do not cancel out. Unless you have it set to mono. If you turn on mono audio again, and then listen again, it's silent. Because mono, like I said before, combines all the sound into one channel and plays that channel evenly across all audio devices. If you had 50 speakers and you had mono audio, all of them would sound the same. And that is why this part of the song goes silent when you listen to it in mono.
That you thought was dead, no squealing, remember.
So if you set it to mono, it's silent. It's the same trick. Gorillaz pulled a sneaky on us. For you see, some older audio devices still use mono. Mono is the outdated system. Everyone uses stereo these days. In some TVs or on some devices, audio will come out as mono. And considering the song came out a while ago, quite a lot of audio back then might have been mono. So people who have watched this video, listening on a mono device, would probably get to this part and be like, is there supposed to be a thing there? Why did the song suddenly cut out? That's really bizarre. It's such a subtle little detail that you wouldn't notice it unless you remembered it, which is very important because the line itself is that it's all in your head. So it's a very, meta joke. I believe this effect can only be heard on the YouTube version of the song because on the Spotify version, even if I have my mono audio on,
Remember that it's all in your head.
it still sounds the same. This is a different recording. I'm not sure if this is the studio recording or if it's specifically the YouTube video that was recorded in a different way. Editor's note, if you are listening on a mono device this entire time, you would not have actually heard anything. So none of this would make sense to you. Loser.